तो आप मुझे बात बताएं एज अ वुमन कि आप इन ये जो यूनिडायमेंशनल हिसाब है लॉन्डो का, जिसमें दे वांट सेक्स, फूड, व्हेन दे गेट टायर्ड स्लीप, एंड देन अगर संस्कारी हैं तो दे विल डू समथिंग फॉर देयर फैमिली, नहीं तो ईगो फीड करने के लिए दे विल डू समथिंग बिग फॉर देयर प्राइड की पावर, लाइक वेल्थ, प्राइड एंड आई रन थिंग्स सॉर्ट ऑफ एटीट्यूड तब आता है। हाँ हाँ, ईगो फीड करने के लिए। इस पूरे गणित में एक औरत को एक मर्द से कैसे प्यार होता है? क्योंकि औरत में मेरे हिसाब से सद्भावना, अपनापन, वार्मथ, और वो जो एक शेयरिंग एंड कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग एंड वेलफेयर वाला जो एक माइंड होता है, और जो एक इंट्यूटिवनेस के साथ वो चलती हैं अपनी जिंदगी में, कोई भी औरत, शी नोज योर टच। अगर आपको मैं जिस तरीके से, जिस हिसाब से, जिस एनर्जी के साथ, जिस वार्मथ के साथ, जिस होल्ड के साथ, जिस ग्रिप के साथ और जिस इंटेंशन के साथ करता हूँ, वो सारी गणित आपको माइक्रो सेकंड में पता चल जाती है कि ये इंटेंशन क्या है इसका। ये इज इट सेक्सुअल, इज इट फ्रेंडली, was it like just a casual without thought? And this is so well wired in a woman that it's like it comes naturally. It is not a skill that has been developed, it's the way it is, like wiring ऐसे हुई हुई। तो इस पूरे इस सेटअप में एक औरत को एक औरत से कैसे प्यार नहीं होता और मर्द से कैसे होता है? ये सवाल है मेरा एज एन औरत। आप प्लीज मुझे समझाएं कि व्हाट्स योर टेक।
Well, I think one thing that is to do with also to do with biological.
हम्म, कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं।
So yeah, of course, it's to do with biological wiring. You know, if somebody is born like whether they are born heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, so there's a biological attraction to the opposite sex. Okay, and then sometimes opposites attract. Like if the woman is you're saying is nurturing and warm and encompasses all the feminine energy, then of course, to a certain extent, they are drawn to the masculine as well. In a way that those are things that are not innate to them, and those are things like ego and pride are things that, in a subconscious level, I think attracts a woman also.
See, biologically, I get your point. Biologically, absolutely correct.
No, the fact about ego and pride and power.
But nahin, I'm talking about the time and that point wherein you are above sex. Every relationship goes through that amazing honeymoon period, and after that, there's a lull. Wherein you know the other person's moves and you know that how the other person is going to
Yeah,
react.
not just about sex. I mean, it's not about sex. It's just an act of lust at a particular point. But I'm not saying that. I'm talking about a deeper attraction, which is also biological. I mean, the genesis of it is sexual energy, but it transcends just the physical act of sex, right? Like in the sense that you are attracted to a certain person, you get to know about the certain person because of that, like because of the other person, where you get to know the other person better. You are attracted to their thought processes, and it's not so simple as like a boy is all about ego and pride and assertion, and a woman is nurturing. I think both have similar kinds of energy. Like, I don't agree with the fact that women don't have pride or women don't have ego. A lot of women have. And women also have a lot of masculine energy inside them. So it's all about like the
Balance, yin yang.
no, it's all about like the trade-off between the two energies also, right? Like that's what creates that attraction, that push and pull mechanics, why you are drawn to a certain person. I think none of us are so securely attached that we are like completely fulfilled by ourselves. Like we would like to be like that, self-love and all that, but I don't think we are like that. To a certain extent, there's you meet a person and the person fulfills those certain often childhood wounds about you, and that's what attracts you to the person, coupled with the physical attraction, of course. And that's what creates the recipe for a relationship. And now it's up to two people whether they make it work or not. Sustaining it is a different thing, but initial वो तो ये होता है,
तो आप
To
खारिज
answer
कर
your
रहे हो इस
question,
बात
I've
को?
been in love with women also. Like I have dated women. Like I have been in relationships with women.
Okay.
So it's been wonderful. It's been fulfilling in a way that no man could have ever like understood that. And but again, it didn't work out because it didn't work out. You know,
Which brings me to a very
masculine,
important
feminine
question.
counter trade-off.
Which brings me to a very important question. Now, having been on both sides of the ocean, which one do you like better?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I think it's more about the person. It has nothing to do with man or a woman.
Or LGBTQ?
No, that's secondary. Like, see, I dated one in the last 2 years, not before that. But so 30 years of my life, 29 years of my life, I was, like whatever, like the complete heterosexual relationships and everything. And it fulfilled me in a way very deeply also. And I'm very fond of like one or two of them, like that I've dated. And they are very nice, genuine people. It didn't work out because it didn't work out. Both of us brought out, I think, ugly sides of each other. Eventually. And that's what happens, like in a relationship, whether it's a man or a woman. That's what happened to me with women also. Like, it's
Really?
compatibility. Like, it's communication. It's like styles of communication were different, or like, you unintentionally hurt somebody, or the other person unintentionally hurts you because of their past, whatever baggages, issues, your past baggages, issues. And that's what that's what happens. And it's more about the like it's very subjective because it's about the person. You can't generalize people into a box like that.
Male, female.
Male, female. Like it's very subjective. Like I think it is about the person. Like what makes them who they are, like
That's so true. That's true.
I don't think all boys are like that also, like, the pride. I have known some very wonderful men who
But
don't
on a
feel
basic level, do you not agree with the fact that men are,
वो conditioning तो एक होता है
you know,
because of society's expectations, but it's up to them also to break out of it. And some of them do
how many
it
percent, what is the percentage of men do you think who actually break out of this
very
flux?
less.
No,
Very
like
less.
give me a number.
I don't think I've
Statistically.
met enough people to give you a number. But like amongst the people I've met, maybe probably
On
I
a
would
scale of
say,
1 to 10, Babe.
maybe amongst the people I have
Yeah.
met, maybe like 10% or so.
See, 1
Like,
on 10, no?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very bad probability.
Exactly.
So
because
your
of this-
9-10s are fucked now.
because it's conditioning ना कि मतलब एक्सपेक्टेशन भी सोसाइटी से वही होता है ना कि लड़का will take responsibility, लड़का will be the earning member, लड़का will provide for the family, and therefore the लड़का derives validation from those things. The लड़का feels that he needs to be adding value, otherwise he feels emasculated. Why do you think that is the case? Like, that shouldn't be the norm. Like it can be anything. Like dynamics should be between two people. Fuck what everybody else has to say, right?
Well, that's a very mature thought, but on the ground, in ground reality, women are also not evolved.
Some of them are not.
They are surrendering
Some of them are not. Some
themselves.
of them still think like that. कि I'm supposed to be the one nurturing. I'm supposed to be the one taking care. मेरे को समझना चाहिए.
और मुझे मार खानी चाहिए,
हाँ,
मुझे
exactly.
सह लेना चाहिए, गाली
Exactly,
गलौज,
सहना चाहिए.
मुझे पात्र बनना चाहिए स्टेबिलिटी
But
का.
that has also to do with a lot with like exposure also, like
नहीं,
people,
but you tell me this, no?
financial independence,
ग्राउंड
exposure,
रियलिटी
all
यही है ना.
those
जब हमारे पास लोग रिलेशनशिप एडवाइस के लिए आते हैं,
हाँ.
ग्राउंड रियलिटी क्या है? They fall in love with someone who's physically good looking,
That's always
irrespective.
the first.
Pheromones and like
Yeah.
all that.
Sexual attraction.
Correct. And once that happens, it's a little resistance that a girl offers at first. Once she understands the intention and sees the commitment and sees that yes, there is some sort of dedication now. It's been 3 months now. This guy has been pursuing me. The person is hot.
That's a traditional this thing, I would say. Like,
exactly.
But depends
ground
on
reality mostly क्या चल रहा है?
They want like a commitment, a partnership, like like keep. But that is again
whatever generic
ties back to the same thing that the woman is expecting the man to sort of
because she's
take care of her.
हाँ तो privilege है ना भाई, क्योंकि अभी पापा ने किया था अभी तक, अब बॉयफ्रेंड करेगा,
Exactly.
फिर
That's what I'm
हस्बैंड
saying.
करेगा.
That's what I'm saying.
बट क्योंकि उनकी भी कंडीशनिंग चल रही है ना पैरेलली.
Oh, exactly.
मैं
Exactly.
पापा की पढ़ी
Exactly.
है ना, फुल
Exactly.
पावर, मैं बैंड्रा, मैं साकेत है मैं.
Okay.
और अब कुछ नया खुला है गोवा में ना, एक जगह, क्या नाम है, आश्रम से भी आगे एक, जहाँ पर एक ऐसी सी सोसाइटी कम्युनिटी बन रही है
आलमपुर.
पापा की परियों की. तो खैर वापस आते हुए, अगर हम ये ग्राउंड रियलिटी की बात करते हैं जहाँ पर एक बंदी को बंदा पसंद आता है बिकॉज ऑफ हिज फिजिकल अट्रैक्शन, सेक्सुअल अट्रैक्शन इज देयर, एंड ही शोज dedication, commitment, and he is able to woo the girl. Now that the girl is wooed, now it's like how a snake transforms itself by shedding its own skin. वो सब walls गिर जाती हैं एकदम से और वो बोलती है कि मैं तेरी पत्नी हूँ, मैं तेरे लिए कुछ भी कर लूंगी बेटे, तू बस रात को मेरे पास आएगा, जब भी जहां भी जाएगा मेरे साथ जाएगा और मुझसे कुछ छुपाएगा नहीं. फंस गई. अब धीरे धीरे इसकी जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, ये जो डेडिकेशन चल रही थी 3 महीने की, जो शक्ल थी वो मास्क उतर जाता है धीरे धीरे, उतर रही है स्किन, उतर रही है स्किन, उतर रही है स्किन, उतर रही है. अब आ रहे हैं वो 4 ट्रेड्स आगे, खाना, सेक्स, स्लीप, रिपीट. और ये इस लूप में चल जाता है वो. और इस लूप में भैया ईगो भी आ रहा है बीच में. अरे बाबे, वैलिडेशन भी चाहिए, सोसाइटी, मम्मी पापा, चाचा चाची, अमेज़न की नौकरी करूं या स्टार्टअप में काम कर लूं. अब क्या हुआ, लड़की हो रही है साइड ट्रैक, वो 3 महीने वाला तो लौंडा दिख नहीं रहा उसको, तुम चेंज हो गए हो का आलाप बज रहा है जोर जोर से. यू हैव चेंज्ड, यू हैव चेंज्ड, यू हैव चेंज्ड. तुझे याद है पहले क्या होता था, तुझे याद है हमारी स्टेट पे क्या हुआ था, तू मेरे लिए वो करता था, अब तू क्यों नहीं कर रहा है.
Correct.
मर्द नहीं सुन सकता है.
Nee, that I don't believe.
I'm telling you.
I have seen people.
I'm telling you.
putting
He's
the
like,
effort.
he's going out in the market. He's like, I'm getting bread for you. I'm getting all that shit for you.
No,
I'm
but
getting the validation.
I've seen people who are the exceptions also, is what I'm
Of course, there are exceptions everywhere. Ground reality, conventionally क्या चल रहा है ना शहरों में और जहाँ पर.
But it's up to people to evolve.
Absolutely
out of
correct.
that.
But ये जो मुद्दा है ना, ये इतना ज्यादा बात ही नहीं करता है वो इसके बारे में.
टाइम नहीं है लोगों के पास.
हाँ हाँ,
बेसिक्स में फंसे हुए हैं ना सब लोग.
क्योंकि बुलशिट 24 घंटे हैं सबके पास यार, क्या बात है ये.
The thing about no, basics, what I mean is like, you know, like this unwanted
Sanitation.
unwanted pressure people put on themselves to uh, stick to a certain status, certain kind of things.
Yeah, but listen, everybody's got 24 hours. If they're unhappy in a relationship, if a person is unhappy in a relationship, instead of facing the music, they resort to.
A lot of people are unhappy in the relationships, but how many people are courageous enough to just say that this is not working out, and therefore, and the older we get, the more scared we are to sort of, because we think, oh, time investment, and you know, okay, like, you know,
अब यार वो जो मोहब्बत थी वो ट्रांजैक्शन बन गई है अब, क्योंकि अब
loneliness also, people want a companion.
Exactly.
You know, like people don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like वो एक fear back of the mind सबके ऊपर होता है कि, and then therefore they adjust, they compromise, and वो compromising में resentment आ जाती है एक दूसरे की तरफ.
खुद की तरफ यार सबसे पहले. You fuck yourself.
Like because you constantly, if you're compromising on your needs, then you start resenting the other person. And you start becoming like, you know, like you start hating on each other. And then therefore that keeps brewing. Explodes.
Volcano बाबे, कॉफी नहीं बन रही है.
Eventually explodes.
And that's shitty, man. It's fucked up.
It is. That's what happened.
Relationship is
that's what happened to me also in my previous relationship.
Baba, but relationship is a zero-sum game, no then?
Like I honestly can't give you the answer because I don't have it. Like I haven't been able to sort of figure it out. Like, you know, what's that magic adjustment quotient that doesn't create that result? Because it has happened. Eventually, that's what happens. It's what people resort to. And when two very opinionated and independent people get along with each other, and therefore they were attracted to each other initially because of that, But then that's again what starts eating at the relationship also, because somewhere down the line someone has to adjust a little bit. और वही like एक दूसरे के ईगो के बीच में ना क्या है यार सब सेकेंडरी है.
खुद आगे आ जाते हो पहले
हाँ,
पहले
exactly.
जिस वजह से साथ मिले थे
My
उस
needs, my wants, my hurts, my feelings, my emotions,
ट्रू
my
ट्रू
pain.
बट ग्राउंड रियलिटी तो यार यही है कि मेरे को जो दिखता है कि
How often, like, in your previous relationships also, how often when you two were fighting, you actually thought ki, nahi, like, within the fight, not later, within the fight, ki, no, 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 I'm being a dick, or I'm being like an asshole, I'm not understanding, and I'm not being compassionate, and I should be more understanding. We don't think like that.
I do.
We think much later.
No,
Like,
no, I do. And on the job, I do.
hats off to you then.
I do. What hats off to me, man? तो अगर किसी का होता
हाँ.
तो
Because in the moment मैं ऐसे नहीं सोचती. In the moment I am more consumed by my emotions.
मैं तो 24 घंटे में वापस आ जाता हूँ अगले पे और मान जाता हूँ
वही
कि
तो
हाँ
24 घंटा भी लगता है ना, वही मैं बोल रही
मतलब मैक्सिमम 24 घंटा अगर पहले
हूँ. That
रियलाइजेशन
is human. That's human nature, like survival. Like it all ties down to like fear of death, basically. It's a basic instinct.
बट देखो ना
Everything leads to ultimately death. The fact that your girlfriend is ignoring you, you're feeling hurt by it, your fears.
इग्नोरिंग क्या झूठ पे झूठ
मतलब कुछ भी, मतलब I'm just saying, like, okay, झूठ, for example, like someone's being dishonest to you, therefore you cannot trust the person.
I can't trust anyone now
If you can't
including
trust
myself.
Nee, that's a high, very harsh thing to say.
No, but that's true.
No,
Because you love that person is basically saying that I did not say this, I did not do this, and it makes you psychotic.
But that's what I'm saying. That's their perception, and this is
Yeah.
your perception.
But when you love, you basically give in, man.
But
You surrender yourself.
but
You say
saying
that तूने बोला the sky is pink तो बाबे the sky is pink.
नहीं
हाँ यही तो बात ये मोहब्बत है मेरे लिए.
ये नहीं करना चाहिए.
लोगों की डेफिनेशन ही गलत है यार. What is your okay? Coming back to basics. What is your definition of love?
I have no idea.
Come on, man. Try.
Like never.
इसी चक्कर की वजह से तो मिलते हैं ना दो लोग. सेक्सुअल अट्रैक्शन तो ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं तो मोहब्बत है ना, कहीं ना कहीं तो मोहब्बत है.
I think love ties down to the basic root of it. Should be about unconditional love. Unconditional.
Unconditional is equal to
That doesn't mean that I lose sense of my own self. Like self-love is also very important.
see again, you can, it's a 0 or 1
And
game.
this is something I have learned the hard way. That's why.
But don't you think it's a 0-1 game?
Like
If you
because I used to be this person. Trust me. Like I am this person. No, I wouldn't say used to because I don't know what I am. But up until my recent relationships, I am this person who gets completely consumed by a relationship. Okay?
That's how it works, man.
The grand concept of love, romantic gestures, the big thing, like like
मेरे
poetry.
पैसे तेरे पैसे.
नहीं, पैसों की बात नहीं है, मतलब poetry and like beautiful things and
क्यों
like
पैसों की बात है?
bigger scheme of things, like
ट्रिप्स विप्स करना.
पैसा मैं बीच में नहीं लाती हूँ ये सब चीजें.
क्यों कैसे नहीं आता बीच में?
कैसे आएगा?
अगर आप ट्रिप कर रहे हो उसके लिए वो ट्रिप
अच्छा, like that. अच्छा, हाँ, fair enough. But you go Dutch. Like I would always do that in my previous relationships.
But some people just don't have that cap.
I mean,
or that
not for
understanding.
every single thing ऐसे.
Because उस टाइम तो ऐसा होता है ना कि भैया this is for life.
अभी हर चाय का रिकॉर्ड नहीं रखना है.
मैं चाय की बात नहीं कर रहा. I'm talking about the big things.
No, big things. I have traveled with my partner and we used to have a splitwise account.
See again, that's mature. That's
no,
maturity.
because it's important. Like two people are earning.
But yeah, ground reality is simple यार.
दोनों लोग earn करे, दोनों अंबानी के औलाद तो है नहीं कि
यार कुछ
cases
में ना ऐसा भी देखा नहीं आपने जिसमें एक बंदा अमीर है और दूसरा बंदा.
But then I am never like that. I'm very like I'm talking about myself. Like I'm very sort of independent and secure and like I am financially independent and I don't want to support someone else and I don't want to be supported by anyone else. I can take care of myself and I expect my partner to take care of themselves. Of course, like choti moti cheezein, dinners, dates, all that doesn't count. But like bigger things, like like of course, like for example, let's say like you're going on a like if you're traveling with your partner, for example, like a long-term travel, right? Then मतलब 2-3 महीना तुम लोग ऐसे घूम रहे हो, जी रहे हो जिंदगी एक साथ.
किया आपने तो?
Huh.
कितनी बार?
Like my last, like not like this one, the previous one was 2 year relationship. Like, and we traveled together, we stayed together. Like, so everything used to be split down the middle. Like, groceries, if, someone else is buying it, they would just update the splitwise account. कि हाँ इतना groceries लिया है, घर के लिए, whatever. You know, personal expenses नहीं, but bigger things like like, chawal, dal, huh? Yeah, ande, things like this.
Yeah, got it.
And
Simple
like
basic
that
shit.
doesn't mean that you don't care for the other person or you don't spoil them or pamper them. You do, you take them out on a date or you buy them something like chota mota thing. And for us, it was not like gifts and materialistic things like that. So it was like
Why'd you
very
guys split?
different, huh?
Why'd you guys split
Huh?
after splitwising so many years?
Because again, वही तो communication gap, difference of perceptions, different.
Communication gap and difference of perception.
कुछ चीजें शायद
I think you're a
topic
very good
not-
communicator. You
I-
would have communicated.
But the other person didn't know. They were very like.
Oh,
And
not expressive
that
का
pissed me off also. No,
not expressive का झंडा गाड़ देते हैं ना ये
I
लोग
am
कि मैं
also-
express नहीं कर पाता.
I am very blunt also like that in the sense. Like Kyuki, in the sense, I can be very cruel. I can be very sort of honest.
Yeah,
And if I'm honest to the line of being cruel about it. Like
That's
in the
good.
sense, if somebody is like, let's say like can't see from one eye, I'll be like, you're blind from the one eye, therefore you can't do this. Like you are, seeing these things or you're saying these things, and वो कभी कभी जाके toxic हो जाता है, like
for the other person.
for the other person. So
Because point नहीं देख पा
and
रहा
also
वो.
I get very angry, like in the sense that
Intention नहीं समझ पा
मैं
रहा
जब
आपका.
मैं जब गुस्सा होती हूँ ना मैं सब paragraphs लिख देती हूँ. I just like I message in paragraphs, like this big paragraphs. And so the other person is like, "Venture, itna kaun padega?" Like, So I'm aware of my like quirks, like I do.
That's
those things.
bad, man. Writing long messages is such a pain
Yeah,
to
because
read.
मेरे अंदर से वो तो बबल जब होता है
मैं
ना
समझ रहा
मुझे
हूँ.
निकालना पड़ता है वो. I spew it out. I need to spew
That's
out the
venom, man.
venom.
That's venom.
Yeah, that's exactly what my ex used to call it. Like I just spew out the venom also, like through that.
Are you happy without him?
Or
Are you happy without her?
who knows?
You know.
I mean, what define happiness here?
My happiness is आपको potty ठीक आ रही है, आप खुश
I
हो
think
और आप खा रहे हो
काफी
और
time हो
आप
गया. We
पी
broke
रहे
up.
हो, आप
It's
chill
been
कर रहे हो.
it's going to be almost a year. But the thing is, nostalgia is there sometimes.
Of course.
Some things you miss about a certain person and you wish things went back to that comfortable place again, how things were. But then कुछ चीजें जो थी मैं काफी unfulfilled भी थी, in a way, like in the sense that I would think that she's not understanding me as my feelings.
How was the sex?
Doesn't reciprocate, huh?
How was the sex?
What is that question?
Like, okay, let me ask a better question.
Boy question.
No, sorry. What I wanted to ask basically was
Yeah,
that
now you'll be asking the same question in a more diplomatic way.
yes,
Yeah.
comparatively,
Yeah.
what would you prefer more? Like male, female, basically.
I think I mean, for me, if you ask me, it's equally this thing. I told you,
Whoa.
it's more about the person for me.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
I am not in that.
I mean, I didn't want. I'm sorry it came
No,
out
I'll
like
give you a
that.
very honest answer. I don't think I'm at that age anymore. But मैंने 20s में काफी कर लिया वो सब चीजें, dating, casual friends.
Painted the town red, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, ठीक है, like when you're in your early 20s, you're partying, you're meeting people, you meet like date people for 2 months at a time, like the relationship 1-2 महीने का होता था, right? Like वो time पे, तो वो मतलब ठीक है, उस time पे.
So how long did you guys date before you said that yes, we are in a relationship now, or like it just happened by itself, by default? Like I'm moving
a very
in,
old
baby.
school person that way. Like I'm very old school.
It'll happen, like it'll flow.
Like for me, if it's love, if I think it's love, if it's a casual thing, that's a different thing. But if I think it's love, then I would know. It doesn't matter if it's been weeks or months or years. But yeah, certain forms of love I think takes years to develop. That comfort, that familiarity with a person, like पहले 2-3 महीने में everybody is in their best behavior, like including like yourself.
Yeah.
You're always in your best behavior. gushy or mushy.
Mushy, gushy,
And
lushy.
honeymoon
Pussy, pussy,
phase.
pussy.
Yeah, or in a honeymoon phase, you can't get like you stop thinking about the other person, ये वो. But then उसके बाद, once that dies off a little bit, the real person comes out a little bit, and then you start questioning whether you're okay with those things. And then if you are, and those things don't matter to you, and despite that, you think that okay, you want to be around this person and share your life with them. Marriage की बात नहीं कर रही, right? But then in that case, I think that is that understanding you have with that other person. कि मुझे पता है वो ऐसा है, वो उसका ये process है, but at the end of the day, he cares about me, she cares about me. At the end of the day, these are things that are their defense mechanisms or coping mechanisms. You understand, if you really understand that, तो फिर automatically बीच में तेरा ego कुछ नहीं आएगा, वो नहीं आता है.
तो इसके बावजूद इस इस जगह तक पहुंचने के बावजूद
नहीं
और
था
ये
वो,
रियलाइजेशन के
ये
होने के
बाद में
बावजूद
realize हुआ. वो तो
तब फोन करना था ना, तब तो बताया हुआ ना ये.
doesn't want to talk to me.
ओह फक,
There was no contact.
शिप हैज सेल्ड.
Yeah.
जब तक रियलाइजेशन हुई इसकी.
But then it's okay, like things you. That's what I was saying now. Ki maybe that person did not have the capability to give those things to me what I wanted. They don't. हम लोग को खराब लगता है क्योंकि हम लोग वो रिजेक्शन के तरीके ले लेते हैं कि my love, I offered you my love, and you think this is not worthy enough to fight for it, and you're letting it go, right? That's where it hurts the most. Like, to be honest, like I have been also on the dump side, so it hurts the most is that rejection. Okay? This love that you had to offer, this other person is not like sort of accepting it. But also, in a way, what it made me realize is that certain things I was deeply unhappy about because I needed somebody who was more expressive. I needed somebody who was more sort of believed in the same kinds of uh, love languages as I do, right? For a more fulfilling relationship.
But that's ego, no?
That's not ego, right?
That you want the other person to be cut out the way you want them to be cut out.
No, but you want to receive love the way you perceive love. Like you want.
So that's egoistic, no?
It's not egoistic. Then that is the case. It's about preferences. Like these are my needs.
So
And
you didn't
it's okay
share
to
those
have-
needs beforehand?
I did, but then the other person was incapable of giving that. Like in the sense कि किसी का thought process अगर ऐसे काम करता है कि उसका expression of love is different, then okay, you'll understand once or twice when you're completely fulfilled in a good mood, and you're like things are okay with you otherwise, then you understand. Then you're in a very understanding position because when the cup is full, then you're capable of pouring it to other people also. But in cases where, let's say, when you're going through a hard phase, okay, when you're going through some other difficulties, professionally, family, whatever, then you're already like feeling quite empty. And in that case, for you to again understand somebody else's incapabilities of loving you, that becomes a task, I feel. And I was incapable of that. Like, and I wanted somebody who would show me the love that I wanted to receive, you know. And that's what created the problems in the first place, right? And it was probably not going to work in the long run. Like, we wanted different things, in different ways. And despite there being a lot of affection and love between two people, sometimes it doesn't work because of that also. Love is not enough. I don't think just love is enough. एक रिलेशनशिप को सस्टेन करने के लिए और भी चीजें जरूरी है. कंपैटिबिलिटी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, मैच्योरिटी, कंपैशन, काइंडनेस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Egolessness.
या और वो चीज शायद अगर मैं भी अपना ईगो कम करूं, मैं एफर्ट डाल रही हूँ, तो उधर से भी आना चाहिए ना इक्वल.
यार वही तो बात है ना, दिस इज ट्रांजैक्शन.
अदरवाइज इट बिकम्स अनबैलेंस्ड.
Transactional things never last.
It's not about transaction. Then you love the person without being with the person.
Yes.
Then you love the person and let them go into the world.
Yes.
Which I do, of course.
So you have let this person go into the world.
Yeah, now
with the hope that if she comes back, will you accept her?
No hope.
But if she comes back, will you accept her?
Depend करता है यार बहुत
किस
सब चीजों पे कि मतलब तब क्या mentality है दोनों का, if there's other person in my life already, if I feel the same way, like there have been lots of things where I'm also like feeling like not. हाँ जी आओ आप आ गए, thank you so much. So like this thing of what was the thing, I lost my chain of thought.
So the other person, if she comes back into your life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whether they have also realized like where they went wrong in
Yeah,
that.
let's say in a situation wherein you're single,
Hmm.
that other person has also hit some realizations just the way you did
Hmm. Yeah,
yourself
if they
in
come to
this.
that realization, then yes, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it depends ना कि realization है कि नहीं.
हाँ,
वो इतना कोई one-sided effort नहीं हो सकता. It becomes unbalanced. Like, then the thing tips the other way.
but it's a relationships are relationships are supposed to be ideally a net positive game, but in my experience, up until now, from what I have seen myself in my life and other relationships that I've been witnessing in 32 years of my existence,
Hmm.
I think it's a zero sum game.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say that?
It's a zero sum game because you basically are wanting to provide positivity, but in yourself, you are so negative because of your ego.
Hmm.
So negative becomes more negative. It doesn't fucking become a positive.
Yeah, of course.
And if there is positivity, I mean, the best scenario for a relationship to be is at zero at least.
Hmm.
At least zero.
Hmm.
The positive the integer, the better it gets, and vice versa. And because if it gets negative,
Hmm.
it's more negative, Babe.
Hmm.
It's not fucking becoming positive at all.
Hmm.
Because you're bouncing off the same shit.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. But also this, I have a small issue with one thing. Like I know you're not saying that, but I still make that point is, how people say that, you need to be like, you need to first take care of yourself. You need to first fill your cup before you can like get into a relationship or whatever, like, get into a thing with the other person. But that's always gonna be a process. That's life. You know what I mean? Like, it's nobody is when nobody comes to love all healed and whole, and then okay, now I have done all the healing and I'm whole as a person, now I will have a relation. I don't think it works like that. Like I honestly don't. Like sometimes, and it's got a lot to do with like happenstance and like perception, maturity of the other person. But I am old school that way, that I like to believe that, it's about a partnership also, of how you heal with that person. Like it doesn't need to be like कि
Conquer.
yeah, I mean it फिर तो मतलब क्या ही मतलब 70 साल की जिंदगी तक तो मैं फिर अकेली बैठी रहूंगी, क्योंकि it's gonna be always a process of upgrading myself and evolving and growing, and so that way I'm never gonna be happy with anybody. So I can't.
So preferences पे adjust कर लेते.
I wouldn't have such a pessimistic view of love. Huh?
फिर adjust कर लेना चाहिए.
Or just
क्योंकि अकेले तो नहीं रहना किसी इंसान
but
को, ये तो पक्की बात है.
adjust कहीं एक जगह पे जाके, वही तो मैं बोल रही हूँ ना कि दोनों साइड से एफर्ट होना चाहिए, अंडरस्टैंडिंग का. कुछ कुछ चीजें तो नॉन नेगोशिएबल भी होता
यार
है.
वही है ना, अगर मैं उस इंसान से बात करूंगा वो भी यही कहेंगे.
क्या?
यही तो ईगो, क्यों क्यों कह रहा हूँ मैं ईगो की प्रॉब्लम है,
बट
क्योंकि
तुम लोगों के
सेम.
बीच में तो कंपैटिबिलिटी से भी ज्यादा इट वाज डिसऑनेस्टी, राइट?
यस.
व्हिच इज अ डिफरेंट बॉल
हाँ
गेम.
हाँ, we are not comparing the two, but what I'm trying to say is that if the other person also says the exact same things in other words, so that becomes
And honestly,
an ego game.
to answer your question, I don't know if I'll be able to forgive her for what she did, because she put me through a lot of pain as well. And I don't.
If you can't forgive, how will you love again?
No, I will love another person, but I don't think I'll be able to sort of. I'm not such a mature person to sort of completely let go of those actions in my head and completely be okay with it, unless there is some action, corrective action, or words or genuine sense of epiphanies that comes from the other person, which is
Revelations.
revelations. Because otherwise वो जगह वो जो एक wound है ना, वो बाद में अगर अभी भी ठीक हो गया, बाद में वो एक गंदा एक झगड़ा होने वाला है, गंदा झगड़ा कि how could you do this, or like that. I don't want to get into it. I have tried to get into another relationship after I broke up with her, and that was just a fling. But then I understood things about myself also in that thing, that it was I'm
Rebound.
not incapable of love. Like it's
Was
not
it a
like,
rebound?
not really. It was just because it was an organic connection. I wouldn't call it a rebound because they were very different people, and
Girl or
it
boy?
was a genuine organic connection.
Girl or boy?
Girl.
Nice. I like where you're going in life.
I don't think I am going in a particular direction.
You are.
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, that's what you think, but are you not seeing a pattern here?
No,
Which brings me to my very important
I'm going with the
conclusion.
flow.
Which, see, look, it's a
See,
conclusion.
for me, I am not on any dating apps. Okay,
I get it.
I don't go
I'm
looking
not.
for people. No, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't go looking for people. I only believe, like, if there is an organic connection, okay, two people are attracted to each other, it's an organic connection, then I am not judgmental about like what has to happen after. But but what you are referring to is like me having a sort of a set thought process or
No,
an
no, no.
agenda
I didn't mean that.
that I will go date a certain kind of people, or
I totally understand, but can we agree on the fact that if there is a mature person as a woman that we're talking in context of, a mature woman would be open to the idea of spending her life with a woman as a partner and not necessarily a man.
it's nothing to do with maturity. It's also to do with sexuality.
Yeah, of course, of
Like,
course. Maturity means sexuality is a subset of maturity.
yeah,
Right?
but you're born a certain way. I believe that. Like, and that's why all.
So do you not think
That's why
that
people. That's why you can't like, for example, people who are born gay, you can't like convert them basis like emotional development or shock treatment. The atrocities that have happened to gay people.
I know, that's
Is because of that thought process ki, you can evolve, you can change, but you can't. Sometimes you're biologically born a certain way.
but do you agree with the fact that all women are bi?
To a certain extent, yes. Like, I think there is a healthy curiosity that's there, but men are also. I have known men, by the way, who are
Mhm.
who are so-called straight, but they have had like encounters with men. But because also men have that side of them, but it is more like harsh. The society is a lot harsher on a boy who's bi-curious.
And then they talk about social equality and then they say that
Exactly, but
there is
society
patriarchy and they'll play that fucking pseudo
उसके
feminist card.
खुद के फ्रेंड सर्कल में वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं होगा कभी भी.
Mhm.
If a girl says that she's bi, her friends would be
Largely
chill with it.
acceptable.
Okay, they are not going to be so judgmental.
Yeah.
But the boy, like the so-called typical
Pseudo feminism है ना?
typical boy group जो होता है, मैं
Yeah.
matured evolved लोगों की बात नहीं कर रही.
Typical boy group is always immature.
Yeah, typical boy group होता है, "Hey, you're gay."
ए भोसड़े छक्का है बहन जो
हाँ,
हलवा ए मीठे
exactly.
ए सुनना शुगर.
Exactly like that. So that person is like scared out of their mind to ever express that. Even if they have that inside them, they will never let it out. Like they will forever keep it like. And so many people are married like with kids and all that who are like gay.
I've seen also some people.
Why do that?
They have been straight for most of their lives, but then after a certain point in their lives, they've realized that okay, let's explore.
Oh, yeah, I mean that's what and sexuality is very fluid if you ask me. At least that's what I've found.
Yes, I agree with that.
2 years.
I definitely
And
agree with
honestly, what I have found out about myself, I can't vouch for other people, but what I found out about myself is I genuinely don't. I care more about like the person. Like for me, it's the individual, their thoughts, their of course physical attraction, attributes, जो चीजें मुझे अच्छे लगते हैं, all those things that make a person that I'm attracted to. It's nothing to do with gender and stereotypes.
how important is aroma? How important is the smell?
Very.
How important? And why? Why is it important?
I'm surprised you brought that up.
Why? It's a game of Smells, bro.
For me, it's very important.
Same.
Like my associative memories are also smells.
Smell driven.
Like something which is not sexual also. Like I know exactly how my grandmother smells like. Like I know exactly how my mother smells like.
Exactly.
I know exactly how my ex smelled like. Like, you know, it's like that smell of like that memory, which creates a memory. Or how I know exactly how kasar smells in a certain weather. Yeah, like, you know, there's a smell in the air.
Yeah.
In the winter, in the summer, in the monsoon, it changes. Like I'm very like my friend calls me a bloodhound. Like it's, he makes fun
Interesting.
of me. He's like you're such a dog.
That's hot. हाँ,
वैसे उसको उस दिन
agile creature there.
he wore a different perfume one day. Yeah,
Fine.
like, you know, this thing.
That's good. करते हैं हम आज
Fuck.
कबूल क्या कीजिए हो रही थी जो हमसे भूल क्या कीजिए दिल कह रहा
गा अच्छा गा रहा था.
गुस्से मुकम्मल
I was listening to you only. I forgot what I was thinking about.
कर भी आओ वो जो अधूरी सी रात बाकी है वो जो अधूरी सी बात बाकी है वो जो अधूरी सी बात बाकी है
Okay. I know that song. Adele ka someone like you. Singing all heartbreak songs.
Sure, that's my favorite.
I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Yes, she gave you things I can give to you. Oh, friend, why are you so quiet? And like you to hold back or run from the light. I used to come. I forgot the lyrics. Used to come for you. It wasn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I'll get nothing but the best for you. Truth, don't forget me. I'll pray. I remember you said sometimes it hurts in love, but sometimes it's oh, I sang it all time. Sometimes the lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead.
Yes.
Okay, Shanti.